Welcome to another episode of Got Wood. This is my entry for the 2015 Summers Woodworking Birdhouse Challenge. And as you can see, it's actually 3 birdhouses. I've made it in a honeycomb pattern, and I call it the bird hive. And one thing that I did that I really like about this is I have these little holes drilled. This is how I connected them together. And I went ahead and drilled additional holes, so if I ever want to make another one to add to it, you know, if I see that these 3 are occupied and there's another little homeless bird hanging out on the side, you know, I can make another one for him. So I can add to it from any angle, any side, and any configuration I want. So if you'd like to see how I made it, stick around and I'll show you.
I started by cutting all the boards to width on the table saw. Then at the miter saw, using a stop block, I cut all the boards to length. With my table saw blade tilted to 30 degrees, I cut a bevel on each side of the boards. I set up 2 stop blocks on my table saw sled about 1/4 inch farther apart than the length of the boards. I used this to cut a 1/4 inch groove in each of the boards. I used tape to temporarily hold the boards together so I could trace out the shapes I needed to make the fronts of the birdhouses. I added about 1/4 inch on all sides to compensate for the depth of the grooves that I had cut in the boards previously. I cut out the hexagon front pieces at the bandsaw. Then at the drill press, I made the entry holes using a Forstner bit. While there, I used a fence and a stop block to drill holes in the center of each of the sideboards. Later, I'll use these holes and some small dowels to join each of the birdhouses together. And then it was time to glue up the sides. Do you see my screw up? After a quick fix, I installed the front pieces, taped everything up, and left it to dry. After everything was dry, I used a little bit of glue and some dowels to join each of the birdhouses together. My camera battery died when I was making and installing the back pieces, but trust me, you're not missing anything. All I did was cut out some hexagon shapes and attach them to the back with some screws.
So here's the completed bird hive. If I could go back and change one thing, I wouldn't mind changing the position of the holes. When I was drilling the holes, I really wasn't thinking about how this was all going to come together, and I centered on these edges where I wish I would have centered on the angles instead to make it a little bit more symmetrical. But I still like the way it looks and it's functional. So hopefully when I put this in my yard, I'll have a few birds move in and maybe even a few extra hanging around. I'll go ahead and add to it and make a nice big bird hive. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'd like to thank Brian for putting on the challenge. I had a whole lot of fun putting this together, and I'm looking forward to participating again next year.